Have you ever had a friend who seemed to be always there for you, but deep down something felt off? What if that person you've trusted the most is actually hiding a darker side? It's easy to overlook the small signs, but the truth is, some friends can be incredibly toxic without you even realizing it. In today's video, we'll uncover the 6 signs your friend might actually be truly evil and how to protect yourself from the damage they can do. Stick around, because the truth might shock you. When it comes to friendship, we all want to believe that the people closest to us have our best interests at heart. We trust them, we laugh with them, and we confide in them. But what happens when that trust is betrayed? Recognizing the signs of a truly evil friend is crucial, because the longer you allow someone toxic into your life, the more harm they can cause. Evil friends don't just betray your trust. They manipulate, gaslight, and damage your mental and emotional well-being in ways you might not even notice until it's too late. The reality is, a toxic friend can be just as dangerous, if not more so, than a full-fledged enemy. And the worst part, evil friends can wear the mask of a good friend so well that you won't realize their true nature until you've already been hurt. That's why it's so important to recognize these red flags early and protect yourself from these damaging relationships. In this video, we'll explore how to identify those signs and how to make sure that you're not letting the wrong people stay in your life. Recognizing the signs of an evil friend is vital because it allows you to protect your peace and avoid unnecessary emotional turmoil. It's not always obvious at first, and it can be hard to acknowledge that someone you care about may not have your best interests at heart. But understanding why it's important to spot these traits early can help you avoid getting caught in a cycle of manipulation and negativity. Evil friends can slowly wear you down, twisting your perception of reality and draining your energy. They can break your confidence and make you question your worth. These friends are often skilled at hiding their true intentions, masking their harmful behavior behind charm, humor, or even sympathy. But when you recognize the signs, you can distance yourself before they do lasting damage. By identifying the red flags early on, you give yourself the chance to set boundaries, protect your mental and emotional health, and choose to invest in friendships that build you up instead of tearing you down. This isn't just about protecting yourself from betrayal. It's also about reclaiming your peace and focusing on the relationships that truly serve you. Relationships built on trust, respect, and mutual care. If you don't address these toxic behaviors, they can subtly take over, leading to long-term damage in your life. Understanding these signs empowers you to take control of your life, your relationships, and your well-being. Let's dive into the first sign, and we'll unpack how to spot it in your friendships. One of the first and most glaring signs that your friend may not have your best interests at heart is manipulative behavior. This is when your friend twists situations, emotions, and even your words to get what they want. A manipulative friend doesn't just disagree with you. They try to control the situation in a way that always benefits them, often at your expense. This could range from guilt-tripping you into doing things you don't want to do, to using your insecurities against you to make you feel obligated to meet their needs. For example, a manipulative friend might say things like, "If you really cared about me, you'd do this for me," or "I can't believe you're choosing them over me." They make you feel like you're not being a good friend unless you prioritize their needs. Over time, you might find yourself doing things just to avoid conflict, or to keep them happy, even if it makes you uncomfortable, or goes against your own principles. The problem is that this creates an unhealthy power dynamic, where you're always the one compromising while they take advantage of your kindness. Manipulative behavior isn't always overt or in your face. Sometimes it's more subtle. It could be them playing the victim when they don't get their way, making you feel like you owe them something, Or they may downplay your accomplishments while constantly boasting about theirs, subtly making you feel like you're not measuring up. A true friend should support and encourage you, not try to make you feel small or guilt you into doing things for them. If you notice these patterns in your relationship, it's important to take a step back and assess whether this friendship is healthy or if it's slowly draining you emotionally. Another clear sign that your friend may not have the purest intentions is a lack of empathy. True friends show care and concern for each other's feelings, but an evil friend is often indifferent or dismissive of your emotions. When something bad happens to you, they may downplay it or make you feel like you're overreacting. For example, if you're going through a tough breakup, instead of offering support, they might brush it off, saying things like, "It's not that big of a deal," or "You'll get over it." They don't truly understand or care about the pain you're going through. Instead, they diminish your experience to make themselves feel more comfortable. A friend who lacks empathy may also only be interested in talking about their own problems, never truly listening when you need to share your thoughts and feelings. They might interrupt, change the subject, or even make your problems seem insignificant compared to theirs. This type of behavior is emotionally exhausting because it makes you feel invisible or unimportant. True friends, on the other hand, empathize with your struggles, offering a listening ear and comforting words when you need them most. This lack of empathy can even manifest in more subtle ways, like being unsupportive of your dreams or goals. If they're always skeptical of your ambitions or dismissive of your achievements, it's a sign that they don't genuinely care about your happiness or success. Instead, they might view your accomplishments as a threat to their own self-esteem, so they minimize them. If your friend shows consistent indifference to your emotions and achievements, it's a serious red flag that this relationship is far from healthy. A true friend will be there for you in both good times and bad, offering support, understanding, and a deep sense of caring. One of the most telling signs that your friend may not have your best interests at heart is their constant need to compete with you. Instead of celebrating your victories, they turn everything into a competition, trying to outdo you in every area of life. This can range from little things, like one-upping your stories, to more significant areas, such as trying to overshadow your achievements. For instance, if you share good news about your job promotion, they might respond by talking about their own career accomplishments, subtly implying that their success is more significant or impressive than yours. This constant competition can leave you feeling inadequate or like you're never enough. Even when you're excited about something you've achieved, an evil friend might dismiss it, brush it off, or make a backhanded comment that makes you question your worth. They thrive on making sure they are always seen as the best, and they need to make you feel small to maintain that sense of superiority. While friendly competition in a relationship can be fun and motivating, when it turns into a constant battle for attention, approval, or success, it can become emotionally draining. A true friend wants to see you succeed. They celebrate your victories, big and small, because they're genuinely happy for you and want the best for you. A friend who is always trying to compete with you isn't really there to lift you up. They're there to maintain their own sense of importance at your expense. If you find that you're constantly in competition with your friend instead of building each other up, it might be time to reevaluate the relationship. Another sign that your friend might not be as good as they seem is when they take pleasure in your misfortune. This is a more subtle, yet deeply toxic trait to watch out for. When something goes wrong in your life, whether it's a mistake at work, a failed relationship, or any kind of setback, an evil friend may secretly or openly enjoy your pain. Instead of offering empathy, encouragement, or help, they might smirk or make sarcastic comments about your situation. They might even exaggerate or laugh at your misfortune in a way that makes you feel worse about yourself. For example, if you lose your job, they might comment with something like, "Well, I guess you weren't as good as you thought," or "Maybe you should have listened to me when I told you to be more careful." Instead of comforting you or helping you through it, they make your pain their moment of validation or amusement. This isn't just about a slip-up in behavior. It's a pattern that shows they're indifferent to your suffering and might even derive satisfaction from seeing you struggle. On the other hand, a true friend would be genuinely concerned about your struggles and would want to help you overcome them. They'll offer words of encouragement, help you find solutions, and be there to support you through tough times. If your friend seems to take pleasure in your failures, or even subtly celebrates your misfortune, it's a clear sign that they are not the friend you thought they were. A relationship like this is toxic, and it can drain your spirit and confidence if left unchecked. It's time to recognize the behavior for what it is and consider whether this is a friendship worth keeping. Dishonesty is another huge red flag that can reveal a toxic and evil friend. If you notice that your friend is constantly lying or exaggerating the truth, even about small things, it's a serious warning sign. Lies, whether big or small, can erode trust and create a false sense of reality in the relationship. A friend who consistently fabricates stories or withholds the truth is not only untrustworthy, but also shows a lack of respect for you as an individual. These lies can range from trivial matters, like pretending they did something they didn't, to more serious issues, like hiding things that directly impact you. An evil friend will often manipulate the truth to make themselves look better or to avoid facing the consequences of their actions. They may lie to get themselves out of sticky situations or to make you doubt your own judgment. For instance, they might deny saying something hurtful to you, even though you clearly remember the conversation. This is a form of gaslighting which can make you feel like you're the one losing touch with reality. Constant dishonesty can also take the form of them twisting facts to make themselves appear more successful or virtuous, creating a false narrative that ultimately benefits them at your expense. Trust is the foundation of any healthy relationship, and without it, the friendship is built on shaky ground. A friend who lies consistently undermines that trust and leaves you wondering what else they might be hiding. Over time, you may begin to feel paranoid or uncertain about everything they say, and this uncertainty can damage your emotional well-being. A true friend doesn't need to lie to gain your trust. Their words and actions match up, and they take responsibility for their mistakes. If your friend's dishonesty becomes a pattern, it's time to step back and reconsider the value of that friendship. No amount of charm or past good times should excuse continual dishonesty, as it always leads to betrayal. Gaslighting is one of the most insidious forms of manipulation that an evil friend can use against you. It's a tactic that makes you question your own reality and doubt your perceptions. This happens when your friend deliberately manipulates situations or conversations in a way that makes you feel like you're overreacting, being too sensitive, or just not seeing things clearly. They may twist the truth, deny things they've said or done, or make you feel like you're imagining things. Over time, this can leave you feeling confused, anxious, and unsure of yourself. For example, an evil friend might say things like, "I never said that, you're just remembering it wrong," or "You're being paranoid, nothing happened." They might even turn the situation around to make you feel guilty for questioning them, like, "Why are you always accusing me of things? Do you even trust me?" This kind of manipulation is not only emotionally damaging, but can also make you lose confidence in your own judgment and intuition. You start doubting yourself and second-guessing everything they say and do. This behavior can make you feel isolated, as if no one else sees the truth, and it can push you into a state of emotional dependency on them. Gaslighting often happens subtly at first, but it can escalate over time, making you feel like you're walking on eggshells. A true friend, on the other hand, will not make you feel crazy for expressing your feelings or for standing up for yourself. They will be open to honest communication, willing to listen to your concerns, and ready to acknowledge when they have made a mistake. If you're constantly being gaslit by a friend, it's a major warning sign that this relationship is unhealthy and manipulative. It's important to recognize this behavior and set boundaries, even if it means stepping away from the friendship altogether. The impact of these behaviors, manipulation, lack of empathy, dishonesty, gaslighting, can be far-reaching if ignored. It's easy to think that these signs are isolated incidents or just bad moments in an otherwise good friendship, but they add up over time. When a friend consistently demonstrates these toxic traits, it begins to wear you down emotionally, mentally, and even physically. You may find yourself doubting your worth, second-guessing your decisions, or constantly apologizing for things you didn't do wrong. These patterns of behavior erode your confidence and make you feel like you can never fully trust or relax around this person. Living with a friend who displays these traits can also lead to a sense of isolation. You might start to question who you can trust, and you might find yourself withdrawing from other relationships because you're unsure of who has your back. As the manipulation and dishonesty continue, you may even begin to feel like you're walking on eggshells, always trying to avoid upsetting them or triggering another round of emotional games. This emotional strain can take a toll on your mental health, causing stress, anxiety, and even depression over time. But it's not just your emotional well-being at stake. These toxic relationships can interfere with your spiritual growth and hinder your personal progress. God calls us to have relationships that build us up, not tear us down. Relationships that are rooted in love, trust, respect, and mutual growth. When you allow toxic friends into your life, it makes it harder to live out God's purpose for you. The negative energy and constant stress can cloud your judgment and make it difficult to focus on what truly matters: your faith, your peace, and your overall happiness. It's important to recognize that staying in these relationships doesn't just hurt you in the moment. It can have lasting effects on how you view yourself and how you relate to others. Understanding the impact of a toxic friendship can motivate you to make a change, to prioritize your well-being, and to seek out healthier, more supportive relationships. Your mental, emotional, and spiritual health are far too important to waste on someone who is only bringing negativity into your life. Confronting a friend who shows these toxic signs is never easy, especially when that person has been a part of your life for a long time. It's hard to face the reality that someone you care about may not have your best interests at heart. But confronting these behaviors is a crucial step toward protecting your peace and reclaiming your emotional well-being. The first thing to remember when you confront an evil friend is that it's okay to set boundaries. You have the right to protect yourself from manipulation, gaslighting, and emotional harm. Approach the conversation calmly but firmly. Be clear about what you've noticed in their behavior and how it's affected you. Don't let them dismiss your feelings or try to turn the conversation around. For example, you could say something like, "I've noticed that when I'm going through something difficult, you don't offer support, but instead, you make light of my struggles. That's hurtful, and it's not how friends treat each other." If they respond defensively or try to deflect blame, don't back down. Stay focused on how their actions have made you feel. Keep in mind that a true friend will be open to hearing your concerns and will want to make things right. However, an evil friend might try to manipulate the situation further, making you feel guilty for bringing it up or minimizing your feelings. If this happens, it's a sign that they are not willing to change, and continuing the relationship may only bring more harm. In some cases, it might be necessary to end the friendship altogether. It's important to realize that confronting an evil friend isn't about winning or being right. It's about protecting yourself and setting healthy boundaries. If the friend truly values you, they'll respect your feelings and be willing to make changes. If not, you're better off walking away. Trust yourself and know that you deserve friendships that are supportive, loving, and uplifting. Ending a toxic relationship is a form of self-care, and it's an act of courage that allows you to move forward with healthier, more positive connections in your life. When it comes to unhealthy relationships, the Bible provides clear guidance on the importance of surrounding ourselves with the right people. In 1 Corinthians 15:33, it says, "Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character." This verse is a reminder that the people we spend time with can have a profound impact on our hearts, minds, and actions. If we're constantly surrounded by toxic friends who manipulate, lie, and tear us down, it can lead us away from the peace and joy that God desires for us. Proverbs 12:26 also reminds us that the righteous choose their friends carefully, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. As believers, we're called to be wise in our relationships. God doesn't want us to live in isolation, but He also doesn't want us to be surrounded by people who will harm us, either spiritually or emotionally. Healthy friendships are those that uplift, encourage, and help us grow closer to God. It's also important to consider the example of Jesus. He surrounded Himself with people who were not perfect, but He sought out those who were open to change, those who were seeking truth and transformation. Jesus didn't tolerate toxic behavior, and He didn't allow others to pull Him away from His mission. In the same way, we must be careful about who we allow into our inner circle. God desires that we be in relationships where His love, grace, and truth are reflected. And when that's not happening, it's a sign that we need to make a change. If you're dealing with toxic friends, it might be time to distance yourself, or even cut ties, especially if those relationships are causing harm. The Bible encourages us to seek peace and to live in harmony with others as much as possible. Romans 12:18. Sometimes walking away from unhealthy relationships is the best way to honor both God and yourself. You are worth the effort it takes to build friendships that honor God, and those friendships will help you grow in your faith, your emotional health, and your overall well-being. Healing after removing toxic people from your life can be a long and challenging journey, but it's an essential part of reclaiming your peace and emotional well-being. When you've spent time with someone who has drained your energy or manipulated your feelings, it can leave you feeling confused, hurt, or even ashamed. You might start questioning your judgment or wondering if you should have handled things differently. But it's important to recognize that the decision to distance yourself from toxic friends is an act of self-care, not selfishness. You have to prioritize your emotional health, and sometimes that means walking away from people who don't bring positivity or love into your life. The first step in healing is giving yourself permission to grieve. It's natural to feel sadness, even if you know it was the right decision to cut ties. You may feel like you've lost someone who once meant a lot to you, and that's okay. Allow yourself the space to process these emotions, and don't rush your healing. It's normal to feel conflicted or even regretful at times, but remember, the decision you made is for your greater good. Grieving allows you to let go of the emotional attachment you had to that person and free yourself from the weight they've placed on your heart. Next, surround yourself with supportive and loving people who truly care about you. It's important to lean on those who lift you up, encourage you, and reflect the qualities of a good friend. Rebuilding your emotional strength often means reconnecting with others who share your values and can help you heal. Seek out friendships that are healthy, positive, and Christ-centered. These relationships will help remind you of your worth and give you the space to grow emotionally and spiritually. Spend time with God, praying and reflecting on the experience. Allow His peace to wash over you and ask Him to heal your heart. Trust that God is with you in the healing process and that He will help you move forward with a renewed sense of purpose. He has a plan for your life, and part of that plan involves surrounding you with the right people who will encourage you in your faith and help you grow into the person He created you to be. Lastly, be patient with yourself. Healing takes time, and it's important to remember that there's no set timeline for moving on. Each step you take toward recovery is a step toward freedom and peace. As you heal, you'll find strength in knowing that you made the right decision to let go of toxic relationships, and you'll be better equipped to foster healthy, loving friendships in the future. Building better, healthier relationships starts with understanding the qualities that make a friendship truly life-giving. After distancing yourself from toxic people, it's important to turn your focus toward cultivating positive, Christ-centered relationships that build you up spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. The first step is to surround yourself with people who truly care for you, who celebrate your victories, support you through your struggles, and encourage you in your faith. Healthy friendships are rooted in trust, mutual respect, and a commitment to growing together in Christ. One key aspect of building healthy relationships is being intentional about who you let into your inner circle. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of having lots of friends, but quality should always outweigh quantity. Seek out those who share your values, who are dedicated to growing in their faith, and who bring out the best in you. The Bible tells us that as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Proverbs 27:17. True friendships challenge us to become better, to reflect the character of Christ in our lives, and to support one another through every season of life. Communication is another foundational element of healthy friendships. It's important to be open, honest, and vulnerable with the people you trust. Healthy friendships are built on clear, honest communication, where both parties feel heard and understood. If something is bothering you, don't be afraid to speak up and share your feelings. At the same time, be a good listener and offer empathy when your friends need to talk. This kind of mutual openness strengthens the bond and helps resolve conflicts before they become bigger issues. Forgiveness is also essential in any relationship. No one is perfect, and conflicts will arise, but the ability to forgive and move forward is what keeps a friendship strong. Forgiveness doesn't mean ignoring hurtful behavior or pretending everything is fine. It means choosing to release bitterness and resentment and allowing the relationship to heal. As Ephesians 4:32 says, "Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you." True friendships involve grace and understanding, and that grace allows both people to grow without being weighed down by past mistakes. Lastly, make sure you're investing time and energy into nurturing these friendships. Healthy relationships don't just happen on their own. They require effort. Spend time together, pray together, and encourage each other in your spiritual journeys. A true friend will walk with you through life's highs and lows, offering support and love no matter what. By focusing on building relationships that are centered around Christ, you'll create a circle of friends who help you become more like Jesus and who challenge you to live out His love in every area of your life. If any of these signs hit close to home, it's time to take a step back and reevaluate the relationships in your life. Don't wait until it's too late to recognize the damage a toxic friend can cause. Take action now. Surround yourself with people who lift you up and prioritize your emotional well-being. If you want to dive deeper into building stronger, healthier friendships, make sure to check out the next video. Your peace of mind is worth it.